Yo, you are now locked into the crossover with myself, Myers and Freek. What's good, bro? What's good,
Good, bro? Good, man. How you been, bro?
It's been a minute. I must say, obviously, had a little bit of a
situation,
but you know, we beat the Rona. You understand? 14 days quarantine, beat it.
That's amazing, bro.
Went back and got tested again, negative. I'm good to go again. Do you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to spend too much time on that, but for everyone that's worried about my health, I'm good to go, you know?
Back. We're gonna touch base later on that.
Trust me. But how are you?
Now, alhamdulillah, bro. Blessed, man. I can't complain. Today we got special guest in the building.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big brother and mentor when it comes to this game, hip hop, especially Arabic hip hop. He's been supporting the scene from the get-go. It's been more than 10 years plus. Founder of a show called Laish Hip Hop that put a lot of people on the map when it comes to this rap game. Let's jump into it, man. Big Hass, man.
Big Hass in the building. You already know the vibes.
Sit down. I mean, look. First of all, what an intro! It gives me. I feel honored. You know, Freek is one of my favorite people on the universe, on the planet. So for me to get that, man, it means a lot. زي ما نقول خدامك أنا forever. If I want to translate that, it will sound a bit weird, but what I'm trying to say is I'm a servant for the artists, servant for people who are real in terms of like, you know, just trying to do what they're doing. And I'm very, very honored to be right here.
No, we appreciate that, man. And
let's talk.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard your name ringing around. I've been in Dubai for a little while. And yeah, I think today is obviously going to be a good day where we can talk, chop it up, understand what's happening in the scenes, behind the scenes. You're very much in the scene, you know. So you're an MC, yeah, radio host,
yeah,
blogger, hip hop historian.
No, I don't. I think it's you know, the word historian is also gets moved. You know, I'm a human being that's very passionate about you know, hip hop. It changed my life. But most importantly as well, I think I'm a father for an autistic son. He's my hero, and I'm shouting him out here.
Okay.
Who happens to be autistic. Autism is not a disease; it's a way of life. It's a way of thinking.
Absolutely.
So these all things, make me Hassan or Haas or Big Haas, whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's been a blessing, man.
We appreciate that. So you're a founder of a Saudi hip hop show.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, obviously I originate from the UK. I didn't even know these things exist. No disrespect to you,
100%.
but I don't think, you know, it hasn't crossed the you know, the airways that far in order for us to hear it. So, you know, can you elaborate on that more?
Again, this is really a blessed. You know, I'm celebrating 10 years of Laish Hip Hop next year.
Nice.
Wow.
Which is incredible. Which is amazing. Launched a blog called Revolt, and then from that, you know, moved to the radio. But yeah, when I spoke to DJ Kool Herc, who a lot of people in Arabia didn't know, can't say names, but big rappers in the Middle East said, "Who's that old man you're talking to?" Only the founder of this culture called, you know, hip hop. When I spoke to him, he said, "Hey, where are you calling me from?" I said, "Saudi Arabia." He said, "Wow, hip hop reached that far."
Wow.
So yeah, to your point, there's hip hop everywhere. For me personally, my story with hip hop is a bit different. I was a regular kid just listening to what the media is feeding me, spoon-fed by the media, especially in Saudi Arabia. And I listened to mainly 4 MCs that I want to shout out. It's mainly 4 that kind of shifted my mind. Narcy, or the Narcissist, or Yassine. Shout out Narcy. Omar Offendim, a Syrian American rapper. Loki, who is British Iraqi.
Yeah.
And then you got Shadi Mansour.
Okay.
These 4 names, when I heard them, exactly in 2007, June 2007, I shifted my mind. It shifted. Stayed up till 8 a.m. that day, man.
Wow. Just
watching everything they've done. I was a new man when I woke up. My wife was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I don't know." Seriously. Why? Because it was, to be honest, like, you know this, Freek, for sure. Like, the Arabic pop is all about, I love you, you love me, you cheated on me, you miss me. That's 99% of the time. These guys came in at a different point, and I was like, wow. very refreshing. Very refreshing to hear that. So I wanted to do something about it, and launched a blog called Revolt. And from then, the show, obviously, it took a while, man, to start the show. To be honest, just looking back at this, the show itself took 7 months of me going to the station and kind of knocking every single day the door. Please, let's do this. It's gonna get you a new demographics on the show. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
But it was very difficult. But it went through.
Sorry to cut you. If it was difficult to get through the door, but eventually you did, beforehand, how was you able to listen to and identify different talents and hip hop artists and stuff like that? If you're located in Saudi Arabia, how did you manage to find the people that you love and listen to, new artists and stuff like that?
That's that's a great topic. It was blogs, man, back then. I started the blog, and then I kind of used to travel from Jeddah to Beirut, Lebanon, Jeddah to Amman, Jordan, Jeddah to Cairo, Egypt, to cover a few events. And when I meet the rappers that are big right now, they'll be like, what, you traveled from a different country to cover us? What?
Wow.
Yeah, because there's no one covering. There was no blogs that are really interested about Arabic rap specifically for that point, So it was mainly the internet, man. If you go to revoltradio.blogspot.com right now and find out the first blog post that I did, no design, nothing in it. It's just, it's there.
Yeah.
You want to revolt against the mainstream. That was the idea.
But it's raw.
It's very raw. Very.
I think hip hop is, quite a raw culture as it is anyway. In order for it to be authentic, it has to be kind of raw. But, not necessarily a question. It's just open. But, how does hip hop resonate with Arabic culture? Because for me, when I listen to hip hop, obviously it's a lot of storytelling.
Yeah.
And obviously you have different types of storytelling. You have gangster rap, you have someone that might be rapping about their experience and, poverty and stuff like that. So, where would you say that, or what particular sector would you say that resonated with you or made you fall in love with hip hop? Or, whether it's UK rap or garage or what made you start Freek? You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, it's like, at the beginning, it was something that I can relate to. They can actually speak to me and my experience in my whole life. And like Has said, we're all used to listen to the love me, I love you type of Arabic genre. And I think the first hip hop started from going against that type of community, And I won't lie to you, it's the first hip hop. I think it was politics. And I think that was the main thing that was going on in the Middle East, back then, and that's how people actually felt it in their hearts, because no one used to speak about that back in the days.
I mean, look, facts. We're in an area saturated with politics. It's all around us. So when I did my thing, 2007, when I spoke to people in Palestine and around, they'd say, "Has, there's a tank outside my house. What do you want me to rap about?" There is an actual tank. But again, fast forward, you see people like the Freaks and the many others that are doing it right now. They're also repping the streets, the culture in a different way. I'm kind of sick and tired of putting Arabic rap in a political box as well. To be honest with you, that's different. That's the evolution of me.
Right.
Before, 10 years ago, I was like, it's all that, let's go. But now, khalas, we have to kind of adapt to the fact that it's very diverse right now. Arabic rap right now, if you're not on it, get on it. Like, I don't know, any streaming service, just go Arabic rap and find out the diversity, man. Wow. I'm so proud of everybody.
And do you think
even though if I don't agree with that person, I am loving the diversity. And it's just so beautiful. That's how an industry grows. It doesn't grow by being one thing, And
Exactly.
now it's, the top streamed artist in Egypt is a rapper, not hip hop, artist. And when I say Amro Diab, one of the biggest artists on the planet, he removed him. Wigs.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Top streamed artist on Spotify, to be exact, is an Egyptian rapper. So that says a lot.
Yes, that says a lot.
That's
that says a lot.
It literally is history.
Historic.
I think for me, obviously coming from the UK, and that's why I think it's important to travel, because if you don't travel, then you kind of keep yourself in a box. You don't see things firsthand. You're just kind of taking what the media says, and sometimes it's not an accurate depiction. But you touched on something. You said, the likes of Freek and other rappers are for the streets. Now, from an ignorant mindset, someone might say, well, what streets? Like, you're living in Dubai. Dubai is Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and what sort of streets and struggle is there? Do you know what I'm saying? So
that's good.
Touch on that. Like,
bro, to be honest, Dubai is a place where it's a dream. That's where you want to live, right? That's what you want to make your life be. You want to ride the Lambo, you want to ride the Ferrari, but it's not gonna happen.
A lot of luxuries, basically.
But it's not gonna happen from the get go, unless you're rich from the beginning. And then if you didn't have anything, then you have to grind for it. And for you to be able to grind, you come from a certain like situation in your life where you have to actually like grind in a way that anyone in the UK or the States can relate to, like the same exact, no payments. You don't have anything to eat sometimes in a whole day, and you actually live in an environment that makes you live in an environment where all the people around you actually live the same way, Obviously, you're not gonna live in a downtown. You're not gonna live. Obviously, you're gonna move from those places. And nowhere in the world is perfect, bro. Like nowhere in the world where everyone is rich and everyone's riding a Ferrari,
Yeah.
But obviously, that's what people see. But any like open-minded person or clear-headed will be like, I'm sure there's people that actually living a normal life like back home, right?
That's what I'm saying. From an ignorant mindset, someone might say that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And we've had our fair share of the same sort of thing. We've had American rappers say, "Oh, all you guys do is drink tea and eat crumpets."
Exactly.
And it's like you guys don't know what's happening over here and what struggle and grind we're going through. So I have to ask the same questions about If we're talking about rapping from the streets, what sort of streets is there? Obviously, I know there's stuff happening. We've had conversations. I know there's stuff happening.
But to be honest, to add to what Freek just said, also the UAE is such a melting pot. It's a diverse place. So it's also repping their own culture as well. So as rappers here or artists, to be honest with you, the thing that's happening in the UAE though is the struggle to find its sound yet.
Right.
So the sound is what the people represent, and the people are diverse. So the sound is diversity. So I don't think the UAE will ever have a sound, to be honest, but that's just my own personal opinion.
It's a big shout.
No, because I mean, look, it's very true. Demographically, it's different. You go to Egypt, they're finding their own sound. They're making an Egyptian type beat as we speak.
Yeah.
How there's a Drake type beat, now there's an Egyptian type beat.
Yeah.
Are there going to be ever a UAE type beat? Let's see.
Crazy,
I mean, again, shout out to Freaks and the many others, but the fact of the matter that you are taking hip hop, doing Arabic on it, sticking to that, proud of that, not changing who you are to sit, to make everybody feel comfortable around you. These are things that are, definitely for the streets. He comes from a certain background. Some other artists come from a certain background, and the UAE is home. For many of these artists, called home. But at the same time, there is social, community, political situations that allow us to speak about it, about certain things. So that's the beauty about Arabic hip hop. That's what I'm telling you. In the streets of Mecca, where, Saudi Arabia and Medina, two of the holy cities in Saudi Arabia, there's murals of the Pacs and the Biggies, and there's still the thinking. There's the West Side and East Side, which I don't agree. There's no West Side and East Side in Saudi Arabia, you guys. Mafi. But that's the whole concept also wrong, and the copy paste that happened between how we took hip hop. But that's what I do. I call hip hop as a culture. And still people make fun of me by saying
it's always like that in the beginning. Like I feel like even in the UK back in the days, they used to actually the first thing you do, you copy, and then with time you be like, you know what, let me just take what I want and just add my own flavor into it. And this is actually the play
I
that
agree.
you wanna.
I agree.
It's happening here, by the way, now. Like
you can see it.
It takes
this gentleman right here. He's kind of leading the tribe.
It's crazy how you see it now in Egypt. You see it now in Sudan. No one wants to be like that. Like you're from, for example, California. You be riding a lowrider, wearing a double XL and like repping West Side. But it used to be like that 10 years ago when people actually loved hip hop. And I don't really blame them. That's what happens when you actually fall in love with something. you want to do exactly the same. And then with time, you'd be like, let me add my own culture to it.
It's with the time. You're right.
Yeah, it takes time.
10, 15
years.
Stop.
People now they're actually proud
big time
of their culture.
One of the things that Freek told me one time when we were talking, he's like, you know how the Pacs and the Biggies and the rappers in the States would say certain things that only certain people in the US would know about? Then why the rappers here don't say that? Like, say things, make it your own culture, whether you live in Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Yeah, make it relatable to your
like shout out the convenience store or sandwich store that you go to, like they shout it out, or a part of the neighborhood. That, you know what I mean?
True. Yeah, because we adapted to their accent. We adapted to their lingo. Like now everyone's like, yo, he's capping. Like, how do you know that though? It's from music, and they'd be like, oh, what's capping? And they'd be like, oh, cool. And you start using it on a daily basis. Like that's what I want to do with Arabic. I want people to actually listen to my music, and then they go back home and they go to Sweden or whatever and be like, oh, well, a kilma, because they're a fan of something, and now they start using our lingo. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think there's a you know the vibes. And I think like there's a misconception as well. When we say street, people think, you know, in order to be from the street or rap about the streets, you have to be on badness. You have to be a certain way. You have to be a villain. No, you can see certain things. Street can mean struggle. Do you know what I'm saying? And then
100.
if you find some identity in your rap, then there's different ways to express things. So the way someone from the US might express going a day without food may be different to someone else from the UAE expressing going a day without food. So it's about finding that identity
100.
and make it relatable, because you're not the only person that's gone without food. Do you know what I'm saying?
Can I also say, this might be controversial, but you know, I'm enjoying the convo.
Yeah, let's get to it.
No, but I mean, again, you can't rep the streets if you're not from the street. So there's a lot of people that also try to depict or try to, you know, you have to live the life.
Yeah.
My brother or sister out there. It's just, you know, you can't act a certain way and you're not from there. So just rep you. That's what I'm saying. So I hear what you're saying about the streets, and I totally get it. When I meant the streets, meaning like in Arabic, صوت الشارع, or like the voice of the street. What is it? What is the voice of the street? What is the street talking about? If you're like outside and you're not in tune with what's going on, then in my humble opinion, then this is not an art, in my opinion.
Yes.
You want to do something else, but that could be wrong or right. When you're repping and you're discussing things that a lot of people around you are feeling, that's what I'm talking about.
There has to be a certain level of authenticity.
Big time. And now the Arab pop that we call it is really, it's shout out to all of them. But again, it's one subject, man. Yeah. It's really one topic. Same videos, same thing. It's the same director maybe. Doing the same old thing. You know that. You know? So like, I'm like, huh? So we're more than that. I'm not saying we don't love love. We love love. But there's...
Yeah, and I think as a consumer, you want to believe, you know? So I have seen rappers rap about certain things that we know you're not about that life. So it takes away from the authenticity of your music, where I know rappers that they might not be the best rapper in terms of skill, in terms of cadence, in terms of like how to rhyme and stuff like that. But what they're talking about is authentic. Yeah. And people gravitate to that more regardless of the skill.
Oh man, look, there's many things against us though, to be honest, as Arabs. First of all, there's the whole, hip hop is American culture, why you're copying, which is a tahayyu, which is like, you're just wannabe right now. Regardless of, there's people that think like that till now.
Can imagine. So
that's one barrier you have to fight. And you know, the second barrier is obviously the media is not really a big supporter of that, because they still look at you at a certain box. The third layer, which is also shout out to my sisters out there who do hip hop, female Arabic rap, that's also another barrier, which is why we don't have a lot of Arab female MCs, sadly, which is a problem, because we need the voices of the sisters to be out there. Big up to the brothers who are rapping, but we need your voice as a woman as well to go. And that's coming from one of the most conservative countries in the world, Saudi Arabia. A community without a woman is not a community, period, done. So you see, it's so big, man, and it's so diverse right now. And we have to understand where Arabic hip hop actually started from North Africa. This is where Arabic rap as a vibe and as a language started.
So you're talking about like your Moroccos?
Yeah, Morocco's, the Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, you know, these are the countries where it started. And look at these guys right now. You know that, Freak.
Crazy.
The numbers, man.
Crazy.
Why? Because it's embedded in the culture. Like it is part of, they play it on the radio. It's not like crazy when they play rap on the radio. It's part of the system.
Yeah, it's normal to actually see a waiter that listens to hip hop. It's normal to see a taxi driver that actually plays Arabic, not even Moroccan hip hop in Morocco. Like he's fan of people that actually in their city, and that's normal. It's not like, oh, I know this local artist. It's not even that. It's like I know the star now. You know,
Right.
Like they actually categorize it as part of their culture.
And also to Freak's point, they also went through that because in the beginning it was very political, and now it's the diverse.
Yeah, it takes time. There's a system to kind of break past in order to achieve certain things.
I look at it even like I'm a student when it comes to this game, right? I study other countries like Canada, UK, right? How I don't know, some Canadians be like, yo, I think that's wrong, dog, you know what I mean? But like, I think in Canada, people used to copy exactly what the States is doing. Like you can find a Canadian artist that sounds like a guy from New York, wears exactly like the guy from New York. No slang, no nothing. He's basically copied everything, thinking this is the way how he's gonna make it in the industry, right?
That's slowing him down.
And then, obviously, because people in New York be like, oh, this guy's not from here. Why is he repping us, you know? Yeah. And then after time, and the Drakes and the Halal gangs, everyone start using their own accent, their own slang, they shoot videos in their own like
neighborhood
buildings, you know what I mean? And that gave authenticity and originality, and that's how I think the whole industry just blew up. Even in the UK, like, you can actually speak about it, right? You know what I mean? Like the UK is the biggest example because it's recent. This happened now.
Yeah, I think, you know, like years ago, when I say years ago, maybe about 20 years ago, a lot of rappers would try and imitate the US, you know, New York in particular, you know, because that's all we knew. We had no blueprint.
Same.
And then we had a few artists that kept true to themselves. We, you know, developed a sound and stuck to it. And we was like, you know what, forget everyone else. This is our thing. And then next thing you know, it starts to build, get better. People started to invest more into the equipment. The sound became a lot better. It wasn't as raw. It was more digestible. And then, you know, decades later, it's blown up.
You started getting endorsements as well. Like, you know, I've spoken to many artists. LL Cool J is one of them, and Freak knows this. Recently, even on the IGTV, he said, "Rep your own culture." Like, I don't want to hear Arab rapper rapping in English. And again, I'm saying this because I know a lot of Arab, you know, brothers and sisters are Arab doing English. Big up, respect to that. But I mean, they outside want to hear us. Give them that.
But what do you say to someone that would argue that English is the number one language in the world? So how do you
100%.
overlap into
I've had the discussion
popular culture?
100%. Look, my opinion on it now is different than before. Before I was like, really, like, man, at least if you do like 10 songs, do one song in Arabic. Now I really understand, and from me talking to many artists, it's that sometimes it's not them. And this is where I get stopped. Sah, you're right. If it's not you, then don't rep something other than you. If you feel that you're not going to be yourself in Arabic, then definitely don't do it.
Yeah.
So this is where I kind of learned. I got educated as well. I get it. But my personal opinion, if you can rap in English, okay, in Arabic, give it a sample. A little bit of Arabic culture here and there on the instrumental side, on the vibe side,
on the visuals.
On the visuals. Perfect point on the visuals right there. You know? Just let them know that you're from here.
Yes.
And I understand, by the way, without saying names, some rappers specifically don't want that. They want, I'm international. I don't want to be seen as I am from this part of the world.
But I think what people don't understand is when you are being authentic, there's that word again, but like you have Spanish rappers that are massive.
Yeah.
And I've listened to Spanish rappers and, you know, your Bad Bunnies and stuff like that. And bro, I ain't got a clue what they're saying in Spanish, but it's a vibe, it's an energy, it's something that is being transmitted that sounds good, feels good, and it's relatable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It still makes me move.
100%.
And makes the you know, the other people mess with it, you know?
Look, man, which goes back to the first thing I said, and look, I'm a man of the people, but I don't know how they're taking this, but it's the people's fault as well. If we don't start supporting these artists, then it's hard for them to kind of break through. We're talking about the Bad Bunnies, the people out in Egypt or whatever, Morocco, supported from the people, man. Why? Because they're repping something also related to the people, don't get me wrong. So it's the artist's duty, but also it's the people's duty to start showing love and push and support and keep an open mind. You open this conversation beautifully, and I thank you for it. You have to have an open mind when you're looking at outside. It's not like we live in a world where right now you're a few seconds in another country. So I actually don't excuse you if you're like thinking that Saudi Arabia still drive camels and stuff like that. No, like go and dig deep and find out. There's so many information on the internet for free. Don't have that limited capacity about art and about religion, about life, about everything, you know. Islam means peace.
Yeah.
It actually means peace when you translate it. So for me, I find that difficult when we're portrayed in a certain way as well outside. So, you know what I mean? You have to keep an open mind as the people.
I think like that's perfect. And I think what is funny is that I feel, you lot can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's a massive spotlight on the Middle East right now.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like everybody's watching. Everybody's flying out.
Been the case.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody's flying out.
That's been
Everybody's
the case.
watching. Everyone wants to go to the desert. Everyone wants to dress up a certain way. Everyone wants to shoot a video here. So now that you guys have the torch, let's try and do something with it. And I think that's a perfect segue what you were saying in terms of support. You know, I feel like whether it's corporations or companies and businesses here should effectively push their own. So if there's an event here and you have the likes of a Lil Wayne performing, then put on somebody that's opening up that is from Arabic culture.
That's what
that's how we're supposed to. That's how we're supposed to build. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we did.
It's crazy.
From the UK, you might have a D Block, a Locks coming to rap, and then what happened in the beginning, they would put on like a D Block Europe to open up. Yeah. And I remember these guys are massive now. Yeah. Obviously, I'm close to them.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them as well. But nevertheless, I remember when they weren't getting the reception they necessarily wanted when they opened up. You know, there might even have been a few boos, but now we've started to get a little bit understanding of our culture, what we bring. We realize how much we bring to the table. We represent it, and now this UK scene is massive.
Can I interrupt you with something here? The thing is, with Arabic, it's a totally different game because it's even dialect right now. Like the North Africa have a dialect. But you know, the GCC have a dialect. The Levant area have a dialect. So yes, it's all Arabic, but it's difficult sometimes to understand brothers and sisters in Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and you know, Kuwait and Libya. So in America, it's English, right? Kendrick Lamar will go on and rap in English or American, whatever you want to call it. It's language, right?
But then what would you say to someone that would argue that someone from California would speak completely different to somebody that lives in New York?
Yeah, but it's still understandable, right? Like they understand each other. For us,
even the slang.
Yeah, no, see, that's the slang. It's a cultural thing.
Right.
But I'm talking about a rapper in Morocco. If he comes and perform here, it's hard for me
as an Arab to understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Arabic, of course, but it's a dialect that's different. It's very hard to find somebody that gets all these languages. One person.
Okay.
Believe me. Let me know if you do find that person, because he'll be a millionaire.
No, I think that's a good point, because from our perspective, we are not aware of that.
That's what I'm saying. So that's it's very diverse, man. To be honest with you, even the topics. North Africa is different than the you know the. Kind of the scene in Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Iraq, Lebanon, different than the GCC. You know, it's like every single kind of place has their own thing. But what's beautiful to me is seeing people kind of rising up and making things happen. Believe me, man, out of nothing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, no, nothing's happening. Haram, the guys are working. We're working, bro.
Yeah,
but we're working really against the current. When I tell you against the current, people, corporations, like with all due respect to the States, of course, in the UK, you had the database. There is a kind of some kind of a basis that you started from. We're building it. We're building it on already we're in a hole.
Yeah.
So, you know, like we keep
Not
building,
been done
we keep falling
before.
it. No, and because we're used to the same art, and when people want to talk about art, generally talking, like it's only subjective towards one. Oh, do you play, for example, the oud, right? Or do you sing tarab, which is like the authentic, way? Get it. But as a rapper right now, how do you use these things to incorporate you? I love it. I love samples. Sampling, for me personally.
Yeah, they're my favorite beats.
Old school sample, that's
down.
me. But what this, guy is doing, for example, like Freek, wow. I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm relating to him in every single song. Every single song. Why? Because I've been here now for 5 years. I am understanding where he comes from. He's making me live his life. And that's one rapper. There's many rappers that I relate to. Alhamdulillah, I do have my finger on the pulse, and I really feel, and it's so elevating to me, bro.
Yeah.
Really.
And you know
It's
what they
crazy.
say? They say real recognize real. And when they see
Facts.
the authentic, rap being there and you being yourself, even how I met Freek, you know what I'm saying, is through another rapper. And in all honesty, I knew nothing about Freek. But what I did know is, because I know the rapper very well, is that I could kind of give him, not a pass, but because I'm on your soil, but when someone introduces you to someone else, you kind of give them that pass or benefit of the doubt because of the person that is introduced
100.
you to them. Do you know what I'm saying?
100.
So when you're being authentic, real recognize real, and you just got to stick to it. Because, in order to predict the future, you look at history. And when people have been authentic and stayed true to themselves, they're the ones that always end up blowing and doing well. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't got all the answers, but there's certain things that you would see and, stick by, and 9 times out of 10 they will come off for you as long as you're working hard. That's how I see it. But the Middle East, for me, I feel like, again, there's a big spotlight. It's like lights, camera, action.
I feel like
right now.
it's changing too, like the mentality of people, even in the industry. Now when you hear Arabic rap, it's not like before. Now, because how the industry, the numbers, the fans, like we're getting so much attraction from normal people in the street. Now the industry are like, I think that's the next big thing, you know? Now they made them think, oh, okay, you know what? Let's get you on TV. Like back in the days, bro, you'll never see me on TV. Never, bro. You'll never see this face on a TV talking about my rap. You know what I mean? Now,
now you're out here.
nah, man, look at me now, bro. You know?
Look at me.
But it's different. It's just different. And Has been fighting. I remember Has 6 years ago, he was fighting these guys to actually put people, even in Saudi. I remember when he was actually blogging about how when you guys get the Tigers and the Lil Waynes to perform in Saudi, just get someone from Saudi to actually open up.
Yeah.
And they didn't really like it, man.
So
Imagine.
that's a perfect segue. How do you guys feel when a big rapper comes over because they've been booked to perform? They will perform, take pictures, and ride camels and flipping, drive Ferraris and do everything that is associated with the culture, but not necessarily check in.
Oof. Are you sure you want to get into that?
Yeah,
bro. Let me start it. I think it started because Has is gonna take off. I think it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. First of all, because I met a lot of really good artists that didn't really know much other than shooting in a yacht or shooting in because that's what they wanted to do, because they don't really have it in the hood back. Because now he made it. Now he can travel. He want to have this lavish life, which is amazing, because he want to show progress, right? So now, for you to actually hate it, you might really piss other people off. Be like, why this guy is hating on us, man? You know what I mean? We're trying to come here, show people back home that we actually came up, right? So, and I made a lot of connection with people here when they reached, and like, oh wow, when they met other people that actually from here, they're like, oh, there is real people. You know what I mean? It is not only people with yachts and everyone is rich. But the beautiful thing that I actually met them. If I didn't, then they probably go back home and be like, "Oh, everyone is rich."
But how did you meet them though? Did they check in? Did you?
Nah, it was someone
just
through someone, obviously.
Okay.
I tried to connect to a lot of people that I couldn't, because obviously there's always some guy that actually blocks the opportunity, because that person in the middle doesn't really believe in local artists. You know what I mean? It's always that guy in the middle, like, you know what? No. Let's go to the jump in a skydive. Like, I don't want you to connect with people here. Why? Maybe because he might lose that connect. As soon as he knows the real people, that guy in the middle turn out to be a fugazi. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, he's
there's
just
a lot
nobody.
of fugazis.
Yeah, and or a
Let's get
cloud
to it.
chaser. Because at the end of the day, I know these guys are real. You know what I mean? Because when you meet them, you actually know. And there's always this guy in the middle that doesn't know anything. He wants all this clout for himself. And it is
And we
what
were
it is,
discussing
man.
I
like
think he said it beautifully. Sorry, he said it in an amazing way that I, like educating me as he always does, mashallah. But to be honest with you as well, it's also whoever gets booked here, they don't even like. Part of what I did in Saudi Arabia was like, when you book an artist, put it in the contract to meet
right.
producers, have this, cultural dialogue, whatever. Because how are we gonna move forward, man? Like producers, right? If a DJ Premier is coming here and he's only playing, while you're smoking your shisha and dancing, and then one of the greatest producers of all time, and producers here don't even get the chance to meet him, it's not his fault. He wants to get the bag and
Yeah,
leave.
he's coming to work.
Yeah, So it's whoever booked him, like he said beautifully, and that's the man, or that's the person that I'm against. Think culture, don't think bag. And when you think culture, believe me, my brother or sister out there, the money will come.
Yeah.
But how do you elevate this culture? And that's what I'm saying about the UAE. There isn't much attention about that. We're on the side. So people like Freek have to, on a personal level, struggle and fight to get that connect. But when that connect happens, wow.
Oh yeah. I've seen it already.
Beautiful things happen, man.
I've seen you be around certain artists, and it's not forced. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not forced whatsoever. If anything, they
They want-
respect you because they're where you are.
They want to hear us.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure they want to hear us. It's just they're not giving the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's always under that same thing. So, to go back to something that Freek said, when Saudi invited all these people, I made it a point. Now, fast forward, now there's a couple of rappers who are also having big numbers. Now they're getting the chance. Why? Because of the numbers. But that's also, in my opinion, a bit wrong. They had to fight, and become so-called influencers for them to be invited on the stage.
Yeah.
But now they're opening up there. It's happening. It is there. But because of the numbers, not because of their talent. I want to kind of destroy that also aspect. No,
Yeah.
get them in because it suits whoever you're getting.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense. They will enjoy it.
No, I
Yeah.
think you're right. And I think you'd be surprised how many artists do come here and say, well, ones that are true to their craft, that will come here and say, look, is there any Arabic artists here?
Yeah.
And that middle person might not even know, or might not even be as authentic enough to know or have those branches in order to,
Exactly.
extend and,
Yeah, no, but to
make
be
the
honest, there's
connects.
big up, man. Shout out to Jay, from Flash, and there's many others people that are doing great things. Really, they're inside the belly of the beast, we call it. And these are the people that we really need to protect because these are the people with the plug, to make things happen and move things and get a
shout out to Jason. Really, he won't hesitate when it comes to these things, right? And he actually trusts and actually a fan of music that's coming from here, like genuinely actually loves this kind of talent, and he would actually put you in a place where, you know what, if you're actually ready, he will put you in that place and
well
magic will
deserved.
happen, you know what I mean?
If you have to be ready, 100%, I agree with that.
And I'm sure these people have put in their work as well in order to be the plug and get where they need to be and
You're
stuff like
inside
that.
the belly of the beast, man. That takes a lot.
But do you
'Cause
think
it's a
there's enough
responsibility?
Do you think there's enough platforms here in order to highlight what is here?
We're saying crazy things on this podcast. So, okay, the word platform right now, I'm starting not to hate it, but like there's so many platforms. I'm including my platform, right? There's so many. What's the one platform that you can get on that can change your life? It doesn't exist. So how do we do that? Many platforms, many podcasts, many cool people, many shout out. Yeah, okay, great. Amazing. To be honest with you, great. Shout out to everybody. But how do we make the quantity quality where if I get on that platform, although it was so hard to get on it, but my life would change and I'll start getting gigs and my life would flip upside down.
It's like the link ups and the grind.
Link ups. You speak to Charlie Sloth, right? He tells you the grimes, the link ups. I know these guys when they were nothing.
Yeah, shout out to Charlie Sloth.
They grew together.
Yeah.
But again, like these are the people that I've sat down and discussed and had conversations with, and this is one of the main reasons why we have the podcast. Do you know what I'm saying? In order to provide another outlet. And I think as time moves on, the traditional outlets that once was the gatekeepers are no longer the gatekeepers anymore in terms of the polished, you know, platforms, like certain radio platforms where artists are scared to go on there because it's so rigid. The interviews are so tight.
We know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm saying? So platforms like this allow people to just come, chill, be real, talk about what they need to talk about, and keep it moving. So, I understand.
You want the straight answer as well, man. Honestly, it's still about how we're seen as Arabia. It's still, you will still have the typical commercial media. You know, it's still there. That didn't break yet. Like, even when you go on any it's still the same. They still put classical music when they're doing TV. I'm like, bro, who puts classical music?
Yeah.
You know? And we're put in the box of this word urban, which I'm also having troubles with it, man. Like, you know, everybody who has, he's urban. She's like, what?
What's urban?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's almost like a disrespect.
For me, I feel that way, but I get what they're saying.
Yes, because there's no other word in order to,
you know,
to explain it.
And that's for us to give them.
Facts.
No, don't use that. Use this.
That's the word.
Do
That's
you know
the
what I'm
word.
saying?
But see, to be honest with you, I'm sick and tired as well to keep educating people and telling it's our culture, man. We love it. We love what we do. Connect with it because we're repping us. He's repping. Many other people are repping. I'm repping. So give us a shot. Give it. All I'm asking, by the way, is that chance. When Freek gets on stage, and I say this, and he's bored of me saying this, and gets on stage and gets, okay, a lot of rappers been rapping in English, right? I'm about to spit some Arabic. If you don't know it, learn it. Boom. Lutek, drop the beat.
Yeah.
For me, what does that mean? That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
I'm like, he's rapping his culture, Tayyib. You know, what can you do? Why shall you not do otherwise? Like, why shall you do otherwise? So it goes back to the people, and I know we spent time talking about this, but the essence of it is the people. The people will make you successful. And until then, this is where we have a lot of fight to do in terms of like repping, because the people are working. Like, the artists are working, man, to be honest with you. They're working, but it's a tough.
Bro, you know what I noticed, like doing music and stuff like that, a lot of people listen to my music, right? Like, people that you never think these guys actually listen to my music. They actually know my track lyric by lyric.
Yeah, I see my man come out from was it UFC?
Oh, the
I was
UFC,
watching the UFC fight, and I heard your music. I was like, raw.
That was crazy moment. And when I actually spoke to him, and he's like, bro, I was there in Abu Dhabi, and I was looking into.
There was a plug. Whoever gave him that, did we find out?
I didn't really ask him.
What's the UFC fighter's name?
Jaquan Barkley.
Okay,
yeah. And bro, it's funny how when he actually landed here, he wanted to listen to hip hop from the region, from the country, and he actually stumbled into Wala Kilma, and he's like, bro, that's actually fire. Let me put it on my fight. And then 2 days later, you see people from UFC be like, oh man, that was crazy listening to someone from the region, from the city, being played in an international event like that, right?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, but where were you before that, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you knew my music all this time. Now he's texting me like that because this guy actually played my song.
What do you think resonated?
To me?
Yeah, no, to him. What do you think resonated from your music?
Bro, I think it was it's definitely the energy. It's Wala Kilma has a type of energy, you know what? Like, yo, I'm about to kill some motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what's funny, bro? I was speaking to Tartub about it, bro. 8-9 months before the fight, and I was talking to him like, bro, imagine someone actually played Wala Kilma in a fight. Imagine, bro.
That's mad.
Imagine, bro.
I mean, if they
bro,
played that
I
for
was
me, I'll
laughing.
fight.
I was laughing. I'm like, imagine actually someone walked in with Wala Kilma. I was like, imagine that.
And
would
Wala
be crazy.
Kilma means
Stay quiet.
right.
You know what I mean? Oh, and the lyrics is like, like basically, تمديدك على مين? Like, who are you gonna touch? Wala Kilma, like, and it actually makes sense. And you see that guy actually playing it in the fight, and that, bro,
when I pull up with my team, man,
that's
like,
crazy. You know what I mean? And go back to my topic about people that you never think they listen to my music. Some people that feel like I don't think it's ready for me to actually share it on my platform, telling my people that I listen to this type of music.
I think that happens globally, you know. Not only obviously UAE, but like globally. I've met people like artists that are quite big in the UK, and we'll be riding in the car and we'll be bumping the radio, for example, or just a Spotify playlist or something, and someone will come on rapping and we'll be bumping it, but they don't want to video the fact that they're bumping it because that gives that person clout. And I'm like, bro, you should be able to share those things, you know. I think I've got to a certain, and I've been there before, you know. Growing up, it's quite hostile. Like you can't. We've been taught to not show another man too much love.
Wow.
You know. Otherwise, we use the term begging it. Oh, you're begging it. Why are you saying that you like his trainers? You're begging it. Well, I think we need to kind of flip the narrative and start giving people their flowers whilst they're here, because life is short. Do you know what I'm saying? And the last thing you want is someone to no longer be here and you wasn't able to give them their flowers. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of US rap. There's a lot of US rappers as well that have passed away this year. The likes of a Pop Smoke and, you know,
King Von's,
and they would have loved to receive the flowers when they're here. So I think it's important that when you do like something and you're a fan of something, what's the harm in hailing up a man and saying, yo, I like that there, keep doing your thing? Because you don't understand what that can do for somebody's confidence.
Bro, boosts it.
Massively.
100%. You know what I mean? And bro, and I see these guys watching my stories and that. I'm like, bro, this guy knows everything I'm doing. You know what I mean? But he just, and some people, I don't really blame it, bro. At the end of the day, what we're doing is kind of crazy, bro. Like it's not. You need a lot of confidence for you to actually get out and be like, yo, I love this song and whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because some people, like.
But I think there's that
DJ Lutic.
There's that competitive nature in rap as well.
Oh yeah. No. I'm loving this. I'm loving what you're saying.
Yeah, some people they're not even artists, bro, but they have big numbers, big followers, and they can actually, as soon as if they actually just share your music, you might just boost another million or fucking 300,000. Yeah. But they because they're scared, because I feel people wear a mask in front of their fans because they're not the same people in real life. You know what I mean? Some people have different lives, bro.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that are quote unquote influencers or have big numbers who are still followers. Like they still follow. They're not leaders, because if they were leaders, they will feel no way to share those things because they're leading. But they're too worried about what it's going to look like. So there's loads of people that have these numbers, this following, but they're still a follower. It's just a follower with following. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not able to educate or trend set.
Yeah.
So
it takes balls for you to actually step up, be like, yo, this is the next big thing in front of your people, because you don't want to look like an idiot. And because some people be like, I never knew you listened to this kind of crap, and that is kind of gonna affect him. He might lose a couple of followers if that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
No, I'm loving it. I'm just, I'd subscribe to this podcast right now just because of this.
What do they say? Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Do it now.
But I think on that note, it's probably good to wrap it up. Thanks for coming through.
Oh, God bless, man. I just want to say thank you guys. The crossover, big up. Like I said, I'll end it like I started. Freek is one of my favorite people on the universe, and he's somebody.
How much he pay you to say that?
No, seriously, a lot of money, man. Check it. Yeah. No, but seriously, it's look, listen. We also have an age gap, right? Why do I connect with him? Ask yourself that question. It's because he's repping, and he's authentic. He's real. There's some things that he's saying that I'm connecting with as a Saudi Arabian 40-year-old, whatever, male. So I think that he is easily the voice of, when I say streets, yes, the voice of the streets in the UAE. I'm giving him that title. You don't like it? Challenge me.
You know the vibes.
He is there. There's many people doing it as well. So big up for that. We can all rise up together with our differences. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool for me to disagree with you and still fist bump you.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. So understand that and create an ideology, not platforms. Great platforms, but create also a community that we can all rise up together.
Talk the things.
Love you guys, man. Thank you so much for it.
The vibes, where it is, the crossover, lock in, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next week. You know the vibes. Love. We out.
Gang.
Shut up.